Hello, everybody. Nizelle here. Today, we're going to go over Lesson 11, Part 3. This is the last portion of the global marketing lesson. And in this particular lesson, you will compose the last piece of your smart car capstone project before you actually put it all together in your smart car presentation. And you will be creating the marketing mix proposal for the smart car in your assigned BRICS country. Okay, so in this handout, there are 4 resources. You will have an activity, which is an individual activity about the promotional strategy. Then you see the memo about the marketing mix proposal, explaining what needs to be included in the marketing mix proposal. Then next you will have the organizer, which is an outline, really laying out the components of your marketing mix proposal and how you're going to organize it in your report. And last, the rubric that I will use to grade your marketing mix proposal. The marketing mix proposal will be completed as a team. So you will work together with your smart card team. You will assign a component of the proposal to each team member, and one person in the team will be responsible for compiling everything together, putting in one report, one Word document, and submitting it to ADSB. Now, each individual, each student will submit Lesson 11, Part 3 individually to ADSB, but one person per team will submit the marketing mix proposal, which will be a separate document aside from this handout. All right, so let's go through it real quick. So the first student resource is the reading promotional strategy. In this reading, you will learn about direct marketing and indirect marketing. So the 2 different types of marketing and what are some examples of direct marketing strategies versus indirect marketing strategies. You're going to complete this activity individually, and I would like you to highlight any definitions and explanations that help you understand direct and indirect marketing in yellow. And you're going to highlight in blue any questions or confusing parts in the reading. So this is to be done individually, and I will be looking for that when you submit your Lesson 11 Part 3 activity on ADSB. So just to give you a little hint, I'm not going to go through it in detail. I want you to read it, to highlight, to pose any questions or confusing parts so we can discuss maybe in our Zoom meeting on Wednesday or via ADSB message. But to give you a hint, direct and indirect marketing are really self-explanatory in a way. There are some areas that could be a little confusing, but pretty much direct marketing is any marketing vehicle that requires the company to directly reach the potential consumer. So one example of direct marketing, when you receive those flyers in the mail, or advertising that's in your mailbox at home, that was directly mailed to your home, to your location. Many times it comes in your name or your parents' name. So they've identified you and your household as a potential customer. And they actually created mailing labels to put it in the mail and for that advertisement to reach your home directly. This is direct marketing. So it's targeting the consumer directly with the intention of you making a purchase, hopefully. Indirect marketing, not so much, not as targeted as direct marketing. So for example, when you watch a famous YouTuber and you follow them and they promote a particular product, that is an example of direct market or indirect marketing. So they don't know who's watching. They don't know that you are watching. They don't know that you are interested in that particular product. But someone, a celebrity, a YouTuber, it's promoting that product in their channel. So they are indirectly marketing the product to potential consumers that could be watching. But the company that's marketing the product doesn't know who you are specifically or that you are watching. So, but I want you to read it. I want you to highlight and I want you to see the many other examples, including some examples that are not either of them, that are not direct or indirect. And then send me any questions via as we message or bring them on Wednesday during our Zoom call at 9 a.m. So that's the first student resource in this handout. Then the next one is the memo, the marketing mix proposal memo. So now this introduces you to your next capstone activity, which is to create the marketing mix proposal. I will read the memo and highlight some important aspects. So let's get it done. So the memo, as always, is being addressed to you, global business strategy teams, and it's coming from Annabelle Okoki, Vice President of International Expansions for SmartCar. And it's regarding call for marketing mix proposals. Congratulations on the SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis your teams created on the BRICS countries. They were very informative and have reassured us that we should continue to research the potential risks and benefits of expansion into the BRICS countries. Now, we would like you and your team to build on your SWOT analysis by writing a proposal for a marketing mix. We want you to recommend the strategy for each of the 4 P's of marketing that will help us reach a target market likely to purchase a smart car. I'm going to stop here for a second. They start off by congratulating you and your team on putting together a SWOT analysis. Why do you think they're bringing up the SWOT analysis in here? Well, the reason why is because they want you to keep in mind and to utilize the information obtained in your SWOT research to create the next step, which is the marketing mix proposal. So you will keep everything that you learned and that you've researched in mind, and you should incorporate that in your marketing mix proposal. So all the strengths and weaknesses of the smart car or the smart company should be taken into consideration, or all the opportunities of the country that you will be entering, all the threats that the country has that you have to overcome. So you need to consider all of that so you can identify what product modifications you're going to need to make. That's under the product P of the 4 Ps. You're going to have to determine the pricing, what pricing strategy. You learned that last week when we talked about the 3 different pricing strategies, premium pricing, penetration, and cost plus strategy. You're going to have to think of any opportunities that the country is offering at this time, and that will help you determine promotional strategies, the P of the 4 Ps, that will help you determine how you're going to market the product. And of course, the threats, any political issues, any barriers, anything that any challenges that that country faces. Maybe poverty is really high. Well, again, let's think about your target market. Who's going to be your target market? How are you going to price the product? How are you going to distribute the place P of your 4 Ps? You have to put it all together, okay? So you're going to bring information from your SWOT into this marketing mix proposal. It all has to correlate, okay? All right, so continuing the next paragraph of the memo. You have learned about ways firms can customize the 4 Ps of marketing to reach target markets. Next, work with your team to determine the target market in your country that will be most likely to purchase a smart car based on their wants, needs, and values. Then use your understanding of the country's economic development, culture, and other factors to propose the best marketing strategies. They will involve the 4 P's of marketing to fulfill needs, wants, and to appeal to the values of the target market. So again, we're going to pause over here one more time. So this is bringing together and tying this with the activity you just did this past week, where you have to identify the smart car attributes and the needs, wants, and values that each of those attributes fulfill. And based on that, you identified a group of individuals that will have those or will share those needs, wants, and values. Therefore, they would seek to buy the smart car. So that's your target market. So again, you will have to be very detailed when explaining your target market. Who are they? What are the needs that this target has? The wants that they have? What values? What kind of values that particular market has? Maybe is a societal values that that country possesses that are really strong, and it will translate into the values of your target market. So again, you're bringing all pieces together in here. Okay. Okay, in the next paragraph, let's continue. Please note, Smart Car pursues a cost plus pricing strategy, so our options are limited when it comes to customizing price options. We hope that you can suggest a creative pricing strategy akin to Apple's, which you have recently learned about. The main question to consider about the 4 P's as you do your research on your target market is: based on the target market's unique cultural and economic development factors, what specific customization is needed to reach these customers most effectively? Once you have completed your research and made your strategy recommendations, you will receive an organizer to help you format the proposal according to the Smart Car business proposal specifications. Let's pause here for a second. So over here, they start off this paragraph stating that Smart Car pursues a cost plus pricing strategy. What does that mean? This means that Smart Car here in the US, they use a cost plus pricing strategy. So they identify the cost associated on producing the vehicle, the production costs, and they mark up, they add a percentage on top of the cost, which would be the markup of the, the vehicle price or the profit margin. So whatever the profit margin was determined by a Smart Car company is added to the production cost, and that's how they determine the price. So production cost plus the profit margin will be the sale price. So that's what currently is being used here in the US. However, that may or may not be the best strategy in the country you're going into. So don't feel that you have to stick to a cost plus pricing strategy in your assigned country just because the Smart Car pursues a cost plus pricing strategy. That's what works here in the US. But remember, you're entering a new market. Maybe the Smart Car has never existed and no one knows who the Smart Car is in that country. Well, so you're going to have to earn the customer's trust and loyalty before you're able to set a price up to par to the competition. You may have to try the penetration pricing strategy where you set your prices very low. You may lose money in the beginning, but after you gain some product recognition, brand name recognition, then and trust of the customers, then you gradually start increasing your prices. Maybe you want to try to position your Smart Car in your country as a very high-end vehicle, just like Mercedes. Well, and you might want to take advantage of the fact that the Smart Car is under the same parent company as Mercedes-Benz. So if that's your plan and you want to position it as a high-end vehicle, a luxurious vehicle, then you might want to try the premium pricing strategy for that particular market. Whichever option you choose, make sure you explain why that particular pricing strategy and how that aligns with your target market that you've identified. Okay. Another thing that's important, they want you to keep this question in mind over here. Based on the target market's unique cultural and economic development factors, what specific customization is needed to reach these customers most effectively? So think about all of your 4Ps and think about the product itself. For customization, do you have to change the product in any way? Do you have to maybe offer bolder colors? Maybe the population is very tall, so you have to raise the roof of the car. You've got to make it a little more roomy for taller people. Um, Maybe you need to have four seaters because most people will have at least one or two children. Maybe you have to offer only electric version of the smart car. So based on your research, you're gonna have to make some customizations. How about the terrain? Does it snow a lot? Are there dirt roads that the smart car may have to drive on? So all of that research will have to be considered and incorporated in here. All right, the very last paragraph. We look forward to reading your marketing mix proposals and learning about your strategies, recommendations, as well as your reasons behind these recommendations. Thank you for your continued work on this important project. All right, so this wraps up the memo. I would like you to send me any questions on Adsby if you have questions about the memo, if something is confusing to you, so I can clarify to you, okay? Again, read this memo over with your teammates. Make sure you guys find ways to meet virtually so you can discuss this and make decisions together as a team. So now that we've read the memo, we understand what you're supposed to be doing. Let's go to the next document where you have the organizer. So this is pretty much the outline that you will follow when putting together your marketing mix proposal. So a marketing mix proposal is a written report. So again, you're going to put it in report format. My recommendation to you, look for a report template on Word, Microsoft Word. There are plenty of report templates available on Word. They all look very professional, very well put together and organized. They have cover pages or title pages, which I would like to see in this proposal. Your proposal should be divided in headers or headings and subheadings to organize the information in a neatly manner. And yeah, so it should be typed up, Word document, headings, subheadings, cover page. Use a report template to make it more professional, okay? So what should be included? Well, you're gonna start off, of course, you're gonna have the title. Make sure you include the country that you've researched. So the title could be something like marketing mix proposal for smart car in India, okay? Something like that. So that's after the title, you're gonna have your introduction paragraph. So in the introduction paragraph, you're gonna explain your target market in detail. It may be one or two paragraphs. I want you to provide as much detail as you possibly can about your target market. Who is your target market? What's the age bracket, the demographics, income level, education level, male, female, married, children, no children, what's the age, all the information. What's their lifestyle like? Are they independent, career oriented, college graduates, trendy? What can you tell me about who your target market is? The more information, the merrier. Make sure you incorporate the needs that that target has, the wants that he has, what values do they have, okay? So go ahead and describe your target market in detail. And then talk about the smart car's attributes. So these are some of the attributes that will be attractive to this target market. And why? Explain why, okay? So that's the first portion of the marketing mix proposal, the introduction paragraph describing your target market. Then you're gonna go into the 4 Ps. At this point, I would like you to put a heading, 4 Ps. Okay, so then you're gonna have subheadings for each of the 4 Ps: product, price, place, promotion. Under the product, this is where you're gonna address any product differentiations that you have that you would like to recommend, and why those differentiations are important to your target market. So again, you're going to type everything in paragraph format, complete sentences, not bullet points. Paragraph explaining the product differentiations in details and why you are recommending those differentiations to the vehicle. Then under price, you're going to explain which pricing strategy you selected, acknowledging that the smart car currently uses a cost plus pricing strategy. However, you may or may not choose to stick with a cost plus. So whichever strategy you choose to use in that country you're going into, that you're introducing the smart car, please explain. So if you decide to stick to cost plus pricing strategy in China, for example, why? Talk about the competition, talk about the market. What research have you done? Look back on your SWOT. What did you learn? What were some opportunities and threats in China that justify you staying with the cost plus pricing strategy? Or maybe you want to use a premium pricing. You want to set it as a high-end product. Why? How does that justify based on your target market? Is your target market the very small portion of the population who are high earners, who are focused in that prestige and want to show off the vehicles they drive, or that brand name is important? So think about that. Explain in detail. Under place, you're going to recommend your distribution strategy. How is your target market going to be able to find and purchase your product? Are you going to have dealerships available, smart car dealerships? Are you going to partner up with local car dealerships? Are you going to make your the smart car available to order strictly online and then they can be picked up at a dealership? How are you doing this, and where? Geographically speaking, where are those points of sales established? Is it going to be in the main cities, in the capital of the country? Are you going to select 2 or 3 main hubs to set up those dealerships? How is the vehicle going to be available for your target market, and why is that the best strategy? Explain why. Always explain why. Then under promotion, you're going to explain the different ways you're going to promote your product. You have to include at least one direct marketing strategy and at least one indirect marketing strategy. Now, keep in mind, there are many, many marketing strategies that are neither direct or indirect. They're simply marketing strategies. Okay, so incorporate them. Those examples are mentioned in the first student resource in this lesson, where you learn about direct and indirect marketing. Make sure you read the student resource in its entirety, discuss with your team. Everything that you're doing here should have the consensus of the team. Okay, now what it is advised is for you guys to split the 4 Ps, because these are really the big portions of the project. You should assign a different P for each member of the team. So someone works on putting together the product portion, someone works on putting together the price portion, the place portion, the promotion, and one person brings it all together. The target market, you really should do it as a team. You should discuss and know how all about your target market together as a team. But yeah, someone would have to be in charge on typing it all out. And to end, you're going to include a conclusion paragraph explaining the reasons why smart cars should or should not pursue these strategies. So, why those strategies that you recommended are the best? Why should they pursue those strategies? Why should they not pursue certain strategies? Maybe you decided that they are not going to use cost plus pricing strategy that smart car currently uses. Well, Why not? Why should they change and use something different than what they are accustomed to? So explain that in your conclusion paragraph. And then that's it. So keep in mind the entire proposal should have correct international business terminology. You must pay attention to spelling, grammar, and punctuation. And it must have a professional layout. Neatness and creativity are expected. So this should be a professional document. You should look as if you were turning this into the executives of the organization, of the company. Okay, so don't turn in something that looks like a draft. This should look professional, spell checked, grammar checked, use proper business terminology, okay, and make sure you use an appropriate template for your report. So you should have a cover page organized in headings, subheadings. Make sure your names are included, the team member names included in the cover page, and make sure it looks professional. If you want to include pictures, you can, but in the marketing mix proposal, most of the time, it will not have pictures. Pictures are reserved for your business plan, which we are not doing in this particular class. If you want, because we are not putting together a big business plan, you're more than welcome to incorporate a few pictures, not too much. We don't want to overwhelm with pictures. We really want the content, okay? And that's about it. This should not be an extremely long document with multiple pages, maybe 2 pages at the most, okay? But it should definitely be detailed. So this will be due in the deadline that I post on Adsby. So check Adsby for the deadline. Remember, one individual will turn in the marketing mix proposal in a separate Word document. One member per team will submit that, but everybody will submit the actual Lesson 11 Part 3. I do want each individual student to keep their notes and their portion of the project in this handout. So for example, if you are assigned product, you might want to highlight it or change the color and then type your notes under here. Okay, go ahead and put your notes or your section or your paragraph, whatever you did, put it in your student resource for Lesson 11 Part 3. Okay, that is it. Oh, last page, I forgot to show it to you, is the rubric for you to know how I'm going to grade your marketing mix proposal. Okay, and again, that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this video. Please send me any messages on Adsby as a private message. Join us on Zoom this Wednesday at 9 o'clock so we can discuss as a class or clarify any questions, and check Adsby's agenda for week 4 for the due date of your marketing mix proposal. Have a good one. Bye-bye.